What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and talk about all the tech news in one single video. And if you want to be on a roller coaster, this week's tech news was a roller coaster ride of information. Basically, tons of information about the Note 10 got out, and it will take you up and down and make you happy, make you sad, but hopefully it leaves you happy in the end. But ultimately, it might leave you a little bit disappointed. But anyways, watch this week's episode. Let me know what your favorite story was, and I will see you in the next one. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is Apple won't be getting 5G in any phones until 2020. It looks like the latest report coming out from Ming-Chi Kuo, who's a big analyst and releases data on Apple all the time, has said that the 2020 iPhones will have 5G and they will all come with OLED displays. The other big part of this is that they will now be at 5.4 inches for the small premium version, which is down from 5.8 right now. The largest version will be 6.7 inches, which will be a significant upgrade currently over what they have as their biggest phone. And that will also match, that 6.7 will also match what you get with the Note 10 phone. And then their mid-tier phone will be 6.1 inches. So 5.4 and 6.7 will have 5G, and 6.1 will have LTE still to keep the costs low, but all of them overall will have OLED displays. Next up, the latest update that's rolling out for Galaxy Note 9s, probably not here in America, but everywhere else, and eventually America, is that it is getting the night mode feature. So you'll be able to take better night photos. Basically what it does is it tries to capture more light in the photo so that you can, see more things in your night mode photos. And the way you, if you want to see after you get this update, because basically you'll get the update and you'll see that it shows that you'll have improved camera performance. But regardless, what you'll do to get in there is go into your settings on your camera, and then once you hit settings, to go into camera modes, and then if you have night mode, you'll just click it in there and it'll turn it on. You'll have night mode next time you're able to take dark photos. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 10. More case renders have come out confirming exactly what we were talking about last week, and that is that you're gonna have a vertical camera on the back of the phone, and then you're not going to have any headphone jack. You'll still have everything else though, such as the S Pen and the USB-C and a speaker. Microphone at the bottom there as well, and just overall and all the power buttons and volume buttons on one side. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is if you wanted to see a screen glass protector that will actually look like it will fit on the Galaxy Note 10, here is one right here. We had one last week, but it didn't have the cutout for the camera at the top. As you can see, camera smack dab in the middle instead of in the top right like we get with the S10 line of phones. I don't know, I can see this growing on me in terms of it being in the middle. When I look at it, I'm not like, ooh, hideous. It doesn't look that bad to me, actually. Another big thing to see on this, like I said last time, is how small the bezels are, at least on the sides and at the top. The bottom has a very slight bezel. When I look at the bezel on the Galaxy S10 Plus, it looks somewhat similar to the most part, but anyways, very small bezels all the way around on this phone. And then speaking of the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Pro, here is a side-by-side comparison of tempered glass, but obviously this will be the size of the phone in the Note 10 Pro, or or as you see on the screen, Ento and Noet. I guess it's just typo spellings from a Chinese company, but regardless, you can see it right here in the Note 10 Pro. It looks gigantor compared to the just regular size Note 10, and I love big phones. And the Note 10 Pro is supposed to be 6.7 inches big versus about 6.28 on the regular Note 10, which is still a large phone, but I mean, I just love having a large phone to have a large screen to watch YouTube and look at websites and social media and pictures, and just it's a pleasure to have such a large screen. So I'm very excited about the size of the Note 10 Pro, and it's definitely, without a doubt, the version I'll be getting when I get the Note 10. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 10 launch. If you remember, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the launch date possibly being August 10th. At least that's what one outlet said. It was a Korean news agency. And then I said, it's probably not going to be the 10th because August 10th is a Saturday. I said it'll probably be August 9th. Well, it looks like it's going to be even sooner than we thought, only a few days. But CNET is reporting Samsung Eye's Galaxy Note 10 launch on August 7th in New York. The next Unpacked event will take place at the Barclays Center, the same venue as last year's Note 9 launch. People familiar with the plans tell CNET. Now, August 7th is obviously right around the corner, 2 months away, less than 2 months at this point, a month and a half really before this phone is launched. August 7th is on a Wednesday. I really hope Samsung invites me and then I'm able to attend that as well. They usually tell us, I think, what is it, a few weeks before the event, maybe a month before the event. I don't even think it's that much. So we'll see if I end up getting invited and able to go to that event. But regardless, it's right around the corner, and there is a very, very special feature that they will be announcing. I don't know if it's gonna blow you guys away, but it's still a special feature to Samsung phones. And this tweet comes from Ice University. It says the Note 10's chin is very narrow, the same level as the iPhone. No speaker grooves on the forehead, which means that the flagship sound on display, aka SOD, technology will replace the traditional speaker. The forehead will be narrower. So basically what he means is that instead of having the speaker at the top here, it's gonna be coming from the display itself, so that when you put your ear up to it, you'll hear it that way. And then also you'll get a speaker at the bottom, just like you do on the other phones. And then you'll also get a speaker again underneath the display that emanates and releases sound to give you stereo sound when you're listening to music or video or whatever you're listening to outside of a phone call as well. So pretty interesting, cool technology. I don't know if it's a seller for the phone to be like, oh damn, look at my phone has display underneath the sound. Is yours? I mean, whatever. See if that's a big seller and it sounds better or worse than what we get now. But regardless, it is a key feature to the phone. So let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is that Samsung will have 2 new wireless chargers launching with a couple of new products. First will be for the Galaxy Watch 2, and then it will also be for the Galaxy Note 10. Now, we don't know a lot about these products in terms of, exactly what they'll have. There's rumors that the Galaxy Note 10 fast charger will have a 20-watt speed, and then on the regular, the watch one, it's gonna be nicknamed Renaissance. So again, we don't have a lot of information about these things, but there will be 2 new wireless chargers. And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Now, there was a story yesterday that Samsung has quote unquote ironed out the issues with the display on the Galaxy Fold, and that the release is imminent. They don't really go much into detail about what imminent means, if that means July or August or next year or the end of the year. It sounds very soon though. But other part of that is that it looks like the 5G version of the Galaxy Fold has gone through certification, so that it's basically another sign that possibly this is all ready to be released. Something to be aware of is with the LTE version, it is a dual SIM. With the 5G version, it's only 1 SIM, and also the battery is smaller on the 5G version. It looks like on the LTE version you get a 4380 milliamp battery, and on the 5G version you get a 4235 milliamp battery. I'm not totally sure why the 5G version gets a smaller battery, because I would assume that 5G is going to use more battery than LTE, so at that point, even though it's not a huge difference, it still should get less battery life than the LTE version. Hey, let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is out of the 4 carriers here in America, Verizon has been the overall fastest for a little bit of time now, and it looks like there is a new champ at the top of the mountain, and it is AT&T. AT&T. AT&T, as you can see right here, has the quote-unquote fastest average score across 60,000 tests total. AT&T came out on top. They used the Galaxy S10, and they did this in over 30 cities. AT&T was on top on over 15 of those cities, and you can see they were 97. Second was Verizon with a score of 94, and then T-Mobile with a score of 91, and then lastly Sprint at 82. And yeah, so if you have AT&T, you are now the proud owner of PC Mag's fastest mobile network of 2019. Next up, SVP of Services and Devices at Google, which is Rick Osterloh, has put out a tweet saying the following: "Hey, it's true, Google's hardware team will be solely focused on building laptops moving forward, but make no mistake, Android and Chrome OS teams are 100% committed for the long run on working with our partners on tablets for segments of the market, consumer, enterprise, and EDU." So it looks like Google is going to stop making tablets. They had a Pixel Slate, and they said they will support that for years to come. But in terms of making new tablets from Google, you will not see it. So it looks like they're gonna stick, it sounds like anyway, to the Pixelbook, which I will have a review in a few days coming out. But in terms of them making new tablets like the Pixel Slate, they're not going to do that, which is kind of unfortunate because it doesn't seem like tablets have died yet, especially with what Apple's doing. Apple has updated their operating system a lot with iPad OS, which is in beta right now with iOS 13. So it looks like there's still, some kind of, competition and push in that department, but it looks like Google will not be part of it, which only basically leaves us with Huawei and Huawei and Samsung at this point. And Samsung's probably the biggest in America for Android. And of course, I'm talking about high-end tablets. Amazon is a big seller of tablets, but they don't make any high-end ones. And lastly is all about the Galaxy Note 10. And this comes from Elixir, which makes mobile accessories. And I've reviewed their cases in the past, and it looks like they've put out a case render showing a potential headphone jack. Now, I really only see it with the black case on here. And when you look at the bottom left, it's in the very bottom, and we don't have pictures at the bottom or the top, but if you look at the bottom of the front of this case, on the bottom left there, you can see that it looks like an indent for a headphone jack, which matches this precise location of the Galaxy S10 phone. And if you remember, all the rumors that have been coming out is that there's no headphone jack on the Note 10 or the Note 10 Pro. And I don't know what this is showing. Maybe it's just a error. Maybe there really is a headphone jack. But this is a case manufacturer. I don't know why they would mistakenly put this on the black color of their case, showing that it has a headphone jack, but it really looks like one. Lately, let's get into the news. All of today's news stories are just like confirmation pieces, and we should just call it Confirmation News Saturday, but let's jump into it. First story of the day is a tweet from Ice Universe saying, like the Note 10 Pro, the A90, which we don't care about, but regardless, the A90 5G version also supports 45 watt ultra fast charging. Now that's obviously very, very, very fast charging. The Galaxy S10 can charge at 15 watt. So times that by 3. Now we've talked about this already about it having 45 watt charging. Now the Note 10 Pro should have 45 watt charging. The Note 10 probably won't have the 45 watt. I would assume that it's gonna have 25 at the fastest, but at least 15 at the very least, but probably 25. So 45 watt, extremely fast, just increase everything by 3. So if it, like I've said in the past, takes 90 minutes possibly to charge from 0 to 100, it should take about what, an hour from 0 to 100 now at this point with 45 watt charging. So another reason to buy the Note 10 Pro, not only because you're gonna get a bigger screen at 6.7 inches, but also super fast charging. And the last story of the day is even more confirmation that the Galaxy Note 10 Pro will have a headphone jack. I can't confirm that the Note 10 will, just the regular version. It looks like the Note 10 Pro almost definitely will, I guess, at this point, because we have another case render, this is on Amazon's website, and I'll link it down below, for the Note 10 Pro showing the headphone jack. I didn't find this myself. A follower or viewer, fan, whatever you want to call him, named Opie, and I'll just leave it at that in case he doesn't want his last name being given out. And he sent me this link, so thank you, Opie. And it's from a company called Gesma, and you can see this photo, Note 10 Pro case. You can see this photo at the very bottom left. To the left of the USB-C charging, you see a headphone jack. This is confirmation, because I spoke about this yesterday on Friday's news, that there was a case from Elixir that also showed, at least it looked like, a headphone jack. And previous rumors to all this was that they were removing the headphone jack on the Galaxy Note 10 line of phones, and it looks like possibly they're not at this point. Again, it's more confirmation that we're going to get headphone jacks on here, which is fantastic news. I use my headphone jack literally every single night in bed. It's probably a bad habit to get into. I put one earbud in, I lay this head just softly on the pillow while I listen to whatever YouTube shows that I watch, or relaxing music or rain sounds, and it just relaxes me and gets me to go to bed. And to not have an adapter or USB-C headphones that take up the charging port of it is fantastic. So this is honestly great news. I'm really happy about it. I know probably 98% of you guys are as well. Let's get into the tech news. If you've been following my channel last couple of days, there's been rumors of the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Pro having a headphone jack. We've seen case manufacturers putting a headphone jack in the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Pro. Well, we have an update on that and a bunch of other things that have to do with the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Pro. So let's, again, like I said, jump right into this. Now, these tweets come from Max Weinbach, who is a XDA TV host and writer for XDA. Now, XDA is a huge website that gives you all kinds of tricks and hacks and things you can do with your Android phone. And amazing website, totally legit. And his tweet, again, we'll go through all of these. So he said, "My source got to play with a Note 10 and a Note 10 Pro. Here is what they said about it. Number one, both of the models he used had a headphone jack." We're gonna go back to that number one after all this, but that's what he says right there, that both models, Note 10, Note 10 Pro, have headphone jacks. Number two, renders are almost perfect. So the renders that we've been seeing basically look exactly like what you would expect those renders to look like with the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Pro. Number three, S Pen is almost the same as the Note 9, so it doesn't look like any big changes to the S Pen from the Note 9 to the Note 10. Number four, the non-Pro version has no micro SD slot, so it looks like there's no expandable storage with the Galaxy Note 10, but there will be with the Note 10 Pro. So if you need micro SD slot, you're gonna wanna get the Note 10 Pro. Number five, no noticeable software changes. Obviously that means that they didn't really add anything new to the software side of things with this new phone. Number six, no speaker grill and much smaller bezels. So there'll be no speaker at the top. Like we've heard, the speaker will lie underneath the display, and then there'll be another one on the bottom of the phone. Number seven, power and volume on the left side, and that's what we've seen with the renders, so no big surprise there. Number eight, 3 cameras vertical on the small one, which is AKA the regular Note 10. 3 vertical plus 1 more, so that's 4 cameras on the Pro version of the Note 10, under the flash to the right of the stack. Number 9, this is the last one, both are centered single hole punch cameras. So on the front of the phone, only 1 camera, have it be the Note 10, Note 10 Pro. You only get 1 camera. Remember, on the S10 Plus, you got 2 cameras. Now, to add to some of this craziness, this is his updated tweet that he put out shortly after that one. Update, headphone jack was a fake. Samsung added a fake headphone jack to the unit to trick people. It obviously worked. Type-C AKG earbuds in the box. What does that mean? It means that, again, no headphone jack, at least off his latest rumor, which he's hearing, on the Galaxy Note 10 and the Note 10 Pro. Again, no headphone jack. I can't explain what we saw with those cases showing it, but he's saying that the ones that his people used, where they said there was a headphone jack, it was a fake unit. It was a dummy in terms of that. It was a fake, no use headphone jack built into the phone to try to trick them in case rumors got leaked out. They didn't want it to be, I guess, bad press or bad information going out so that people would get upset. And obviously you guys are going to get upset. I know I'm slightly upset. It's nice that they're going to add Type-C AKG headphones in the box, but you know what? I don't use wirelessly charging that much because I can't keep it situated and then use it at an angle or whatever and use it in any way I want, like I could if I had regular headphones and it plugged in via USB-C charging. So it would be nice if they had 2 USB-C ports. That would take care of the issue overall. That way I could do USB-C headphones and I could also do USB-C charging at the same time. That would eliminate the need for a headphone jack. And I guess that's my question of the day, guys. What do you think of these rumors and things that are coming out about this phone? Does it make you pissed off? Are you okay with it? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, what do you think of my idea? 2 USB-C ports on the phone, one for charging and one for accessories. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road. Peace!